Justin, thanks for coming on the pod and welcome.
Lovely. Thank you so much for the invite. Really looking forward to the chat today.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Justin, can you tell the audience real quick, AI UK, what are you guys doing? What's the value proposal? What you guys doing?
Wonderful. Thank you. So AI UK, we would describe ourselves as a bespoke AI consultancy that in essence links people to technology. And there are three value propositions that we focus around. The one is obviously we are engaged in robust technical ability. We're actually able to produce your AI solutions from the ground up. Obviously, closely associated with that is data management. The second value proposition or service that we offer is strategic coaching and consultancy work. And that specifically focuses on making sure that the AI integration is sustainable and, in fact, positioned correctly within your business. I think that obviously makes sense. You know, if you want something sustainable, it has to be positioned correctly. But one of a number of studies are actually showing that AI integration into a number of businesses has not produced the ROI that was anticipated. And the
What is
findings
that?
the findings seem to very, very strongly move toward the fact that it's not the technology itself, but rather the consultancy services that surrounded the integration of AI into the various businesses. And I think, like in any situation, if you want to build a really strong house, you have to have a good foundation.
Yeah.
So for us, it's not just about having an AI app on your home screen. You know, that for us is if you're not interacting with that and it's not really making a difference, that's failure for us. So we spend a fair amount of time with the client around the whole area of coaching and consultancy work. Now, I use the term coaching because coaching by definition is deductive rather than inductive. So what I mean by that is that we don't come to you with a solution in mind. We sit down and we say, right, tell us your dreams. Tell us your hopes. Tell us your pain points. What is it that keeps you up at night and gets you to grind your teeth that you wish you had a solution for? And this is the thing that we work on with them. A very, very important phrase for us in this whole area of AI coaching and consultancy work is let's co-develop an AI integration service with you. So it's about us partnering alongside a business, bringing the best solutions so that they're actually really able to move forward and it really benefits them in tangible, practical ways. So you've got the AI technical ability, you've got the strategic coaching and consultancy work. And the third area for us is change management, which is training, education, support, and obviously maintenance protocols that are associated with whatever solutions we bring in. Those three services really create a one-stop shop and a very well-orbed network of services that, in our opinion, really enables AI to be brought in a truly meaningful and sustainable way. People don't just want technology, they want a trusted partner. And that's what AI is, with a friendly face, hopefully, and the extended hand in front of technology.
What are your, if we just take it from the start with the whole culture and management piece, like what are your guys' mission, vision, values?
Our essential values flow around two fundamental areas. Firstly, we believe in the democratization of AI. And what we mean by that is that AI is such a powerful technology, and it has the potential for tremendous good and tremendous evil. And it's for this reason that it needs to be in the hands of as many people as possible for the benefit of all and for the protection of all. So in democratization of AI, one of the things that we are strongly focused on is that we believe that every single organization should have reasonable access to AI. So we work with the charity organization, with people that don't have massive budgets. And in fact, on our team, we have someone who works in identifying and helping prospective clients to qualify for grants. So we really try and work very, very hard with organizations so that they are able to access funds, so that they can get access to AI technology. So the democratization of AI, bringing it across the board to as many businesses as possible. And the second value proposition for us is the demystification of AI. And what that basically means for us is at the end of the day, you are our focus. It's not about highfalutin language or high-end technology. It's about getting alongside you, grabbing hold of your arm and saying, right, let's walk this together. Let's talk your talk. Let's get into the trenches with you. Let's understand your pain points and let's provide practical solutions that will really meet your pain points. So obviously, as you can understand from these two focus areas, we are very client-centric and very, very ROI driven. That's our focus. This may sound strange as as an AI consultancy, but our focus as a consultancy is not on AI. It's on the people that we hope to serve. And AI is one of the vehicles that we serve through. So
Hmm.
our focus is on you and your pain points to bring real solutions to you.
Cool. So how does that translate with internally with your employees? Because that's very much, if I understand that your values, like your branding, almost like this is what we are. We're standing for our market. But in terms of internally for for our team, for company culture and everything, what's our is that the same values? Do you use a different set of values to translate that into everyday work? How does that work out? That
To be quite honest, I don't think that you can truthfully and sustainably project an image if it's not live within your
yeah.
organization. So we are very, very, our leadership style is very, very flat. And what I mean
Okay.
by that is that we do understand that there are specific roles and areas of responsibility, and we expect people to be adults and to fulfill their responsibilities. And as they do, they are celebrated. And if there are areas of challenge, then we endeavor to assist them to fulfill those areas of responsibility. But we believe that every person has a voice around the table. Obviously, we take cognizance of everything that is said and value it, and endeavor to bring it to into the actions of the whole organization. So we regard ourselves as a team. We value input across the board, and we endeavor to move forward as a team. Each person understanding their role, their responsibilities, and trusting that they're going to move that forward decisively. I think you don't place people more intelligent in the room than yourself and tell them what to do. So we take a lot of time we spend time making sure that the people that we bring on board are people that are experts in their areas, and I listen to them and take a note from them because they are better
Yeah.
than I am in those areas. So this is an internal culture of respect and valuing expertise and endeavoring to move the dial forward as a team.
Got it. What sort of people do well within your team? What sort of, I mean, I'm talking character, outside of technical expertise, but a sort of character that tend to flourish with you guys.
Obviously, people that are I use the language again, are adults. And what I mean by that is at the end of the day, I'm not a micromanager.
Yeah.
I expect you to do your job. That doesn't mean that if you're not doing your job, that I'm not going to have a chat with you. But we're looking for people who are emotionally intelligent. We're looking for people who have practical skills in their area of expertise. We're looking
Hmm.
for people who are human centric, client centric in their approach. For us, it's about true value, and it's about really producing services that are going to really make a difference to people.
Yeah.
Our belief is that if you win the person, you win the business.
Yeah.
So we treat people with the greatest of respect, and we endeavor to bring them value at all time. Open communication is vitally important to us. Things go wrong sometimes. That's the nature of life and the nature of business. But it's important that as we do, when they do go wrong, we keep communication channels open and we come with solutions and not just here's a problem.
Yeah. 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 So does that mean that the profile you tend to like are, um, there's this caricature, and sometimes I think there's truth in this, of the technical guy who's very technical, but not really, doesn't really enjoy talking to client, prefer to do his thing on his corner and stuff like this. Do you tend to favor the profile that are actually able to also have the conversation with the client, sell the solution, um, have that sort of, not confrontation, but at least like challenging discussion with the client, as
Mm.
opposed to the caricature of the technical expert that stays in its corner?
Yeah, no. To be quite honest, for us, we start with the end in mind. In other words, what is the task that we need to fulfill, and let's find the best person to fulfill that task. So we're not expecting everyone to be an able-bodied communicator. We're looking for you
Hmm.
to have expertise in your specific remit of authority. So there are some guys who say, "Listen, don't put me on a podcast. It's the last thing I want to do." And for myself, don't put me in a science lab. That's the last thing I want to do. So this is where the mutual respect, mutual understanding, and
Yeah.
synergistic working of skills makes all the difference.
How many people do you guys have?
We have this is a wonder of AI technology. We have an executive team of about three,
Yeah.
and then we have a very robust production arm of about 200 people.
Nice one. Nice one. Cool. Um, I was going to ask you, so 2026, what are your objectives and what challenges do you think are laying ahead?
Well, I think our objectives are as clearly and powerfully and effectively as possible to bring AI technology to as many people as possible. So, once again, our values, our missions are not just statements on the wall. They direct our vision, they direct our daily functions. So, we want to get involved in really bringing AI to the marketplace for as many SMEs, enterprise level and above. One of the things that we've realized over the last few years is there's been a lot of tire kicking, and rightly so. People are still trying to figure out, is AI really worth it?
Yeah.
Do I need to invest in it? 2026 has changed. People are saying, yes, green light to AI. Now the questions that are surfacing are,
Yeah.
how do I actually get this done? Who do I trust? What do I actually do? So for us, the primary focus areas on those three value propositions I spoke of, technical ability, coaching and consultancy, and training and education. Our primary areas of focus are on training and education, and obviously a strategic consultancy work. That by definition will then unpack for us the ability to produce AI solutions for the folk. People are realizing that they need AI, but they have no clue really where to start or how to
Yes.
effectively integrate it into their business.
Yes. There is something I want to share with you actually, and I wonder what's your feedback on this. I'm very curious actually. So I've had in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 months, and I can really relate to what you say about 2026 people are ready because I can see an acceleration of this conversation. So in
Mm.
my area of work, I have obviously a conversation with a lot of SMEs, smaller businesses like 10 to 50 people. Um, and a lot of people are saying to me at the moment, "Oh, I'm not sure about recruiting, Julian. We are looking at AI. We think we're going to change things. We're going to integrate more of AI and everything." And a lot of this conversation, when I tend to follow up with them, tend to be sort of more disappointing. So to give you an example, got a client. He's an online seller of products on Amazon, and he did a lot of work in the summer to integrate AI into working their listings online, into creating better, more compelling messaging for the customers, finding new products more effectively with like AI research and stuff like this. And in the end, it was very disappointing with all the outcome. And when I had a chat with him, I found out that it boiled down to not necessarily having the right people doing the work. And there is this trend of thought at the moment in the market. I find that AI, now we're ready to invest, now we're ready to go for it, but we still see it as a sort of magic bullet. And I see in my line of work a lot of not resistance, but at least challenges into implementing AI is not having the right structure of people, not having the right sound basis internally. Is that something you see as well?
Indeed, absolutely. I think you've touched on a vitally important area of how AI is impacting the workforce. I think at one time there was a fear that AI was going to replace all jobs. And I think
Yeah,
that what we're beginning to see now is that, yes, it most definitely there are certain jobs that are going to no longer be needed because of the automation powers of AI. But that being said, I think that the very nature of work is going to change from activity through to control and management.
that's
And I
it.
think that it is premature for organizations who are, in my opinion, who are wanting to bring AI in at scale to start hiring and firing at this stage. I think, if anything, it's vitally important that they keep their staff contingent strong
Yeah,
and educate them, because it's not that jobs are maybe necessarily going to be lost at a large scale, but rather that people need to understand that their job function is going to change. So
yeah.
I would agree with you. We need to train people to effectively interact and partner with AI ability to bring the best out of it, and that's management protocols that are really in place there.
Yes, control and stuff like this. Like for example, this particular guy, he was upset because he said that he let go of a few designers that worked with him, that he wasn't necessarily happy with their work for creating images for his listing. And he was counting on AI to be the big replacer, to create great images. And in the end, he had a lot of slop. Um, and my assessment, it's one situation. Okay, I don't want to extrapolate on the whole market, but my assessment was that he had lost the ability to control the variables and control the end product of what the AI was producing. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. I have a feeling, it's not documented, but my feeling on all this is that people think AI can replace the brain, when all it does actually is bring more muscles to establish brain.
Well
Do you
done.
relate to that?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. One of the things we need to understand about AI, at least at this stage in its development, is that it doesn't really have true potential to create. It has the ability to extrapolate and to mirror. So, to be quite honest, at the end of the day, if you have chaos in your company, don't expect AI to solve it. What AI will do will magnify and mirror that chaos. So, in many regards, all that it does, and you're absolutely right, it produces the muscle so that it can free people up to being more human in many regards, to
Yeah.
focus on those nuances that AI doesn't have the ability to engage with yet: emotional intelligence, moral decision making, management protocols. These are the kind of things that must squarely lie in the hands of human beings, and should
Yeah.
be understood by all managers. So, yes, I would agree with you. We now have the muscle, but now we need to have the brain to direct the focus of that muscle.
So what would you say to a client like this sort of mini case study I've given you? How would you advise someone like this to be able to make the most of AI? Would you say, first of all, fix your operation, have a great operating system within your business so that you can control what's going on? Or would you say, bring on AI and then do the changes?
I think this is why it's vitally important for us that we have this discussion and the building of relationship with the client. One of the things that I said earlier, and maybe let me make it more patent, is that the desperate need, in my opinion, of a lot of organizations at the moment is not for AI, but a trusted AI partner.
Yep.
Someone who's able to literally jump into the business, boots and all, and from a consultative perspective and a decision making perspective, help them to prepare both the environment, to identify the structures, the processes, and the solutions. And that's what we're very proud of offering at AI UK, is that we are prepared to jump in, boots and all, to help you not only to bring AI in, but prepare the environment so it's sustainable. So, to
Interesting.
answer your question, we will get in and say, right, let's have a look at your operations together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's have a look at your structures together, and let's
Yeah.
build with AI in mind.
Do you think this whole thing about and this is the last question I'll ask you about AI. Do you think this whole thing about AI is it will be able to at some point make moral decisions? Or do you think we have too great expectation on what AI can do and not enough understanding if we think like this?
We have no idea how AI is going to transform our world. We have just begun to see the potential of AI. And when we begin to talk about quantum computing,
Yeah.
that is, I was talking to someone the other day, and they said this is not revolution, it is evolution. So let me say the following: is that we have no clue how AI is going to actually increase in potential, ability, and transform our world. So I hope that answers your question. Get
It
on board
does.
now.
I like it. All right, cool. Um, I have a yes. So there's a lot of people who are going to be listening to the pod, obviously, in my audience, and it's going to think. I'm hoping some of them are going to think, I like what Justin is saying. I really like his vision of AI. I like what he said about his vision of work and all that. I'd be interested to talk to him and see if they need someone like me. So first of all, what sort of talent? Now I'm talking about competencies and skills. What sort of competencies and skills are you going to be looking for in 2026? Do you think?
Well, I think obviously specifically within the context of AI UK, we have the tremendous opportunity to be working potentially with some very large contracts. So for us, it's going to be specific technical skills that we are looking for, specifically in certain AI solutions, as well as obviously for us, the whole area of training and education is becoming extremely important, both in Europe and in the UK. Obviously, we realize that the AI laws that have been put into place in Europe are now being enforced in 2026. And whether or
Yeah.
not businesses realize it in the UK, this is going to have ramifications for them. So if they're interacting with a business in Europe that is using an AI to some capacity, there needs to be a paper trail that they understand the risk processes and are in some way engaging and training their people. So we're going to be looking for people who are able to engage with clients, train, educate, support, good interpersonal skills. That would be something that is vitally important for us. It sounds strange. We're dealing with technology, but in order to bring
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
to the populace, we need people that
Yeah.
really are a people's people, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. It does. 100%. Very interesting. And in terms of technical skills, do you have any areas specifically that you're looking for?
Well, we're looking at agentic AI, the development of agentic AI. So that would
Uh-huh.
be an area of high importance for us. AI twins. So I think that any skills that would be associated with that. Obviously, data management is vitally important. That's the
Yes.
foundation out of which everything rises and falls. Obviously, coding, and even though we sort of talk about being able to AI being able to code, that's still a black box for us. And looking at the area that the level that we're engaged with, we need people who can code. So these are some of the skills that we're looking at present.
So
And
what do
then
you mean
obviously a
by
good knowledge of a good knowledge of various AI tools.
what do you mean by it's still a black box for you in terms of coding AI? You don't believe that AI coding everything itself and being able to replace a whole development team?
No, well, let's put it this way: is that there are definite signs that it's been used and it's being used well. There are certain
Yeah.
organizations that we've interacted with who even use automatic AI coding, if you want to call it that, within the healthcare sector. So
Yeah.
this is a highly regulated environment. So you need to know that it's being done well. But for us, this is something that's fairly new, and the areas that we will be engaging in would require a lot of hands-on human interaction and management. So for
Yeah.
us, we would definitely make use of it at lower levels, but we would need people to be able to code and to develop from the ground up, so that there's a far more transparent process involved in the building of our solutions.
Hmm. I feel like, and again, this is now the last question on AI. We'll move on to the quick
Nope, you
fires
can. Yeah.
after. But
Glad that I'm making you interested here.
I feel like, like I remember when I was studying economics in France, you had a whole part of the curriculum around Joseph Schumpeter, the destructive creation. And I feel it's very much that with AI, isn't it? Like there's so many jobs you're talking about now that seem to be coming out of the ground. That actually the fear of replacement it's more like an evolution, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think if you have a look at every major evolution in industry
Yeah.
over the centuries, there has always been the creation and the realignment of job creation. I mean, if you have a
Yes.
look at America, with the Industrial Revolution, most of
Yeah, it's a
well over
rail. Yeah, yeah,
90% of all jobs were around agriculture, and then it shifted.
yeah, yeah.
So I think this is what we're going to see again: is that we can't even imagine the jobs that our kids will be involved in or our grandkids.
Yes.
They haven't been created yet, but they'll be there.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. All right, cool. Anything else you want to add on AI before we move on to um, management and the quick fire question?
Well, I think for me, it's really about seize the day, carpe diem, jump in, and begin to get involved. I think that we are living such an exciting time, both for the individual and for the corporation. I mean, as an individual, to have access to AI is mind blowing. It really is. We look back
Yes.
and we look at things like the library, libraries across the world that we'd have access to all of the learning of the human
Yeah,
race. But we've got that on our phones now.
I know.
It's phenomenal, and we have had it for some time. But AI really makes it available to us. So jump in and learn and grow and dream and experiment.
Why do you think there's such doom and gloom when we were living in such an exciting times in change of technology? And you're right, like the raw power we have at our fingertips with our phone is incredible. There's so much stuff you could do with that.
Mm. I think what we need to realize is that AI is, by definition, the greatest creation of man to mimic the potential of man.
Mm.
Really, I think we've really reached a top point here. I'm not saying we're not going to go beyond that, but to a large degree, AI really is able to mimic man in his ability. And so that is why it is terrifying, because man, as we know, has a potential to produce the most wonderful, beautiful creations and the most terrifying, terrible works of destruction. So, to be quite honest, AI has the potential to do exactly the same, to bring about a utopia in a way that we can't even imagine, but on the other hand, to bring destruction, pain, and misery in a way that we can't possibly imagine. So I think that we have it's wisdom to say, let's carefully work with what we are working with. And let's understand that we are opening up potential that we may get to a place where we truly don't have control over. And if it's built in the ability of man to both be beautiful and destructive, let's make sure that those foundations are in place
Mm.
so that it doesn't become a hell on earth.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
wisdom.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah. We're very well said. Very well said. I like it. All right, cool. Ready for the quick fires?
I hope so.
Okay, so rule of the game. Rule of the game, Justin, is we only try to take 1 or 2 seconds per question, and we go with gut feel. Okay.
Right.
All right, let's go. So, how many times do you check your emails per day?
Today or per day? Per
Per
day?
day or today? Yeah, today. Go
All
for
right.
today.
At
Emails
least
and Slack, huh? Emails and Slack.
at least 7 times an hour, 7, 8 times an hour.
Okay. So I think you've already answered that question. I'm still going to ask you: do you prefer trainable junior or experienced people?
But experienced.
Yeah.
Experience.
Last 3 recruitment: success or failure?
Success.
Nice one. You guys work on data, gut feel, or a mix?
Data.
Data. Meetings, love or hate?
Love.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, nice one. Last holiday you took?
South Africa.
Nice. Where about?
Started in Cape Town and then worked our way down what's called the Garden Route. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Bonus or no bonus in the company?
Bonus. We want to reward people for the work they do.
Yeah. And is it discretionary, like company result and stuff, or is it linked to individual performance?
It's linked to individual performance.
Cool. Last one. 10 minutes late, 3 times in a row. Do you sanction by principle, or you let it go as long as the results are there?
Sanction. They need to be responsible.
Cool. Very good one. Very good one. It's finished. The quick fires are finished, so we can
That was
relax. I like
terrifying.
it. Let me circle back to bonus then, because there's a lot of debate on this, and I quite like this question because it gives a lot of insight, I find, on an organization. So strictly linked to individual performance.
Look, obviously, because it's a quick fire, that would be the
Yeah,
general
I
direction.
know. That's why I dig a bit
That
after.
would be the general direction that we're heading. But I think what we need to understand at the end of the day is that there's tremendous motivation that comes from doing a job and doing it well. And I also very strongly believe in the principle of celebration. I'm an executive coach. That's one of the things that I have the privilege of being involved in. And one of the things that I enjoy about coaching is that I say this to the people that I'm working with. You can celebrate them in a way that doesn't seem weird.
Yeah.
And most people today are not celebrated. And so I think when we have the opportunity to celebrate people for a job well done, then it must be done.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. We've touched briefly in our discussion, and I want to finish on this because it's always an interesting one. So, is selling, and you mentioned quite a lot about the emotional intelligence, interpersonal skills, and stuff like this. You mentioned as well that obviously within AI, there's a massive piece around like human connection. Actually, that's actually lurking behind um, the whole AI thing.
Yeah.
How important for you is it to have good salespeople in the organization?
Absolutely essential. But I think what we need to understand our understanding of sales.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of work in neuroscience and work with some really top people in this area. And I actually wrote a white paper with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bill Price, who's just been classified as a world thought leader in neuroscience development.
yeah,
And we actually wrote a white paper on neuroscience and sales. And at the end of the day, this may sound strange, but if you're going to have sustainable sales, you can't convince anyone to buy. What it really is having a conversation with them, helping them to understand what their areas of resistance are, providing
yeah.
adequate answers for them so that they can make a decision. So for us, sales is not about ramming a solution down your throat. It's about having a conversation with you, providing the solutions to help you to make a decision, and then bringing you to a place where you're empowered to make those decisions, whether for us or against us in regards to the solutions we're offering, either now or later. It's about
Good one.
respecting people enough to allow them to make informed
Yeah.
decisions.
Do you find it easy in your line of work to close project on AI, or do you still find there is quite a lot of resistance to get to the last hurdle?
I think based upon the last few years, it has been difficult simply because people have been kicking the tire. They say, I hear what you're saying. It sounds absolutely amazing, but hey, I don't have money in the bank to burn. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to sort of see the test cases being proven in general business practices. So it has been difficult, but I think we're now beginning to see that turning point. And as the test cases build, I think it's going to become easier and easier to engage with people and offer them the services they need.
So it's a problem of showing a proof that it actually
Correct.
delivers. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Very interesting. Cool. Um, I think we've got around pretty much everything, haven't we? Is there anything you want to add to the audience, Justin?
Well, I think for us, it's, and I agree with the point that you sort of raised very briefly there. I think for us, we are realizing the absolute centrality of relationships
Yeah.
in the AI world. In fact, we've got two tiers that we've developed. The one is called our BDEs, our brand development executives. So they work with the SME market. And then we have what we call brand ambassadors. These are captains of industry that we have a team of that are endeavoring to really produce influence on a very national and international level in their
Yeah.
various sectors. And it all comes down to them leveraging their influence and their relationship. It's about having a kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball discussion with those people who want to understand about AI. So we're
Yeah.
realizing that the doorway to technological integration is human relationship.
Yes, it
And
is.
we want to be that friend with the people that want to find out about technology.
Yes, yes. Especially, I guess, for your case when you're building, because I think there's probably a difference when it's a SaaS model, isn't it?
Yeah,
But I don't see many. I don't actually see many solutions that have. I see a lot of SaaS models being developed in AI. Don't get me wrong, but I see them as being very narrow. You know, they solve one specific thing, like let's just say, like creating images or whatever, and they are muscles to usually one individual, but it doesn't really go beyond that, does it?
absolutely. And I think this is why it's vitally important that we train our people. Those that are going to succeed, I think, in AI in the future are not those who integrate the most AI solutions, but those who train their people to effectively manage the muscle.
What do you mean by that?
In other words, we need to have people who know how to work with the tools to bring the most out of them, not just
Yes.
having all of the tools. And I think that people are looking, like you sort of said, the magic bullet. Their focus to in some areas is on AI to produce the solutions. That's not entirely true. It's on the management protocols associated with that that'll produce the solutions that you're looking at. And that,
Yes.
that lies
Yes.
with human beings.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I find that as well. Like there is a lot of this whole testing, methodology like A/B testing and sort of this. Um, I find that people who tend to be successful with AI also have that ingrained in their companies. Like, let's just test this and try it, and then AI can multiply the amount of testing and help with the decision making as after that. But it's a lot
Absolutely.
about testing and changing variables and stuff like that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Having a look at some of the largest multinationals that have really become successful, it's interesting that one of the predominant factors that they seem to have in common is that they fail quickly.
Yes.
They can move, they're very agile. And I think that that is, when it comes to AI, we need to be agile. Don't invest all of your eggs in one basket. Get involved. If it's not working, then change, adapt. And this is where we want to come in and be that partner to help you in that process.
Yes. Good one. Good one. Okay, I think let's see. It's our last word on this one. Thank you very much, Justin, for coming on the podcast. I think we had a
Thank
very
you.
interesting discussion, and
Thank
I
you.
hope it's helped a lot of people to understand, like where this is going and how AI is going to impact their work. If you had just one piece of advice for people who are looking for jobs right now, looking for a new position in whether it's with your company or any company, and especially thinking, hey, you know what? I really like what Justin is saying about AI. I'd like to redefine my career towards AI. What would be that advice for them?
There are huge amounts of really good courses that are available online for free. And my advice would be re-educate yourself as quickly
Yeah.
as you possibly can, and you don't have to pay a fortune for that. I think that for me is, information, knowledge is power. So before you change your trajectory, change who you are in regards to your knowledge of AI.
Very wise words again. You're a very wise man, actually, Justin. I've discovered that on the podcast.
It's the grey beard, hey?
It is, isn't it? It is, isn't it? All right, cool. Justin, thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.